another time clarity what it is all about. See, there are three ways of doing anything on spiritual. One is on the achievement or siddhi, just like what we do on a materialistic or the worldly plane of existence. Another one is the self-realization. Another one is liberation. Now, coming to the, just like in the material world or in the normal world of ours, from the schooling to completing the post graduation and maybe PhD and all that, we put in good amount of effort to get that going, and also we work hard to get the organization we would like to work with and the salary and the home and family and all that. So all these are equivalent to achievements or siddhi. This is again done by consciousness but is not known to anyone, and he or she feels that he is doing it, that person is doing it. Okay. Now the on the similar front, on the spiritual side, you can achieve the same kind of siddhi, for which you need to have the purity. So purity of thoughts and purity of action will give rise to various kind of siddhis, because it's again the consciousness which can make impossible possible. So we have tantra, we have yantra, and we have mantra. So we have these three things which can be used to yoke that consciousness to do something, just like what it does on the material foundation. So if we were to apply Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we can implement yama and niyama, and then once we are doing that, Ashtanga Yoga is established to a certain extent, and then the person gets the vibhuti, which is nothing but the achievement or siddhi. So this is the siddhi, is what a person can get. So it is also called as clairvoyance and clairaudience and all that, and also can manifest different elements to become something else, and that we spoke yesterday. So this is the first part of thing. So we have to set a goal of whether we want siddhi, and if we want siddhi, then this is the way of doing it. Way of doing it is we have to implement the Patanjali, or if we are going by Shankaracharya, then the sadhana, the Chatustaya, that to a reasonable extent, if it is done, then that person gets the siddhi. It is more on this life alone, and it doesn't, there's no guarantee that that follows in the next life also. But the punya what has been gained on these will follow. The siddhis might not follow, but they might remain dormant, whereas the punya what has been gained out of purification will follow. So in that way, the siddhis also might follow in the next life. This is one state which can apply for material or the worldly kind of living and non-worldly kind of living, that is spiritual. So when we say spiritual, it also involves the religious dharma. So that is also there. So we can have a tradition, samskara, and we can have a particular based karma, and we can develop the upasana and all that and create punya, which will then manifest itself as siddhis. Now coming to the second way of doing things. This is not step from this we will go to the second. No, this is another way of doing. The another way of doing is to not go behind siddhi, because it binds. Just like material world binds the consciousness to do something which is literally of no use. So instead of doing that, you go behind searching for who you are or who am I. And in that particular case, it becomes self-realization. So to have a self-realization, we can use the same Shankaracharya's way, or we can use the Patanjali, or we can use the Viveka Chudamani, or we can use Bhagavad Gita, or we can use Upanishad, or we can use whatever we want to use. The goal of that process is to let go of these attachments what we have towards the object. So trying to cut the senses from the sense objects is what will make you realize that you are the consciousness and have got nothing to do with the matter or the person or anything like that. This is the self-realization route. So if we were to go to self-realization, and if we were to implement Bhagavad Gita as the only source to go, rather than reading hundreds of Upanishad and Veda and this and that, if somebody relies 100% on Bhagavad Gita, then he doesn't have to go to all the 18 chapters. He has to master chapter number 2, chapter number 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 15 and 16 and 18. If he can do all of these chapters, and then the person is completely realized. Especially 12 and 13, which talks about what is jnana. In 13, the 20 attributes what a person should have, and the 40 attributes what a person should have as a bhakta in the 12th chapter. So if somebody can really work out on that, will understand the second chapter and become a sthita prajna, and that means that he is almost on the state of liberation, whereas he has had the self-realization. So he has the atma jnana. So this is the second way of doing things. In that second stage, the person would let go of tat and tvam and only starts to understand asi, which is called liberation. So this is the third stage, wherein the person just be the asi. So that starts from the 13th chapter on to 18th chapter. So this is the way of doing through Bhagavad Gita, if we were to implement. And we can use Upanishad as from Mandukya Upanishad to Mandukya Upanishad to Katopanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, to all kind of Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, whatever one is comfortable. But the objective in the second one is to select one and become the master of that, not go in 100 different subject and 100 different philosophies and discussions and deliberation and discourses and all that. That will not help. That will in fact impede the person from moving forward. So he or she needs to clearly understand what it is and should get the awareness. The conscious awareness should be established in the second. If he or she can do that, then the person is on the way of realization, Atmajnana. And if it is completely fruitful, wherein that subtle I also is gone, then the person is in liberation. He's already got liberated. So there is nothing at all for him or her to worry about, because he has done what he is supposed to do. So he has closed the chapter. So there is no rebirth. In the second one, there is a rebirth. In the first one, there is only rebirth. It can be in Deva realm, it can be in Brahma realm, it can be in animal realm, it can be human realm and all that. Because siddhis will ultimately rob the consciousness of what it was not supposed to do. So the person will get into kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya automatically through siddhis. Just like what we do in our worldly life, we get all the six of them because there is tremendous attachment to name and fame and house we built, or family we have, and the intelligence we have, and all of that. So that is siddhi, but then that person has only a ray of hope is that by having a good amount of sadhana, which he has done for material as well as spiritual, he will be born in a better place of existence all the time. That's the only ray of hope. Whereas the second state, the person can really get established in the best state of existence because he has got into a pure jnana, which will make him to be reborn either as a higher deva or a celestial being or a Brahma. And in the third one, there is no rebirth at all. So these are the three things. So for the first one, we need to have the siddhi of mantra, yantra and tantra through practices of shuddhi. So we can go for bhuta shuddhi or whatever shuddhi we want to do. And we can really achieve what we want to achieve through that. So the mantras will start working. So there is a way of utterance of mantra. So that has to be perfected. Then the chandas has to be understood. And all of those mantras, if they have to work, it has to work based upon the ability of that individual to do the tapas and swadhyaya for getting that happening. So it needs a level of yama and niyama for the siddhis or the sadhana to work. And then this person has tremendous siddhi. And coming to the second one, the siddhi is there, but the person is not hooked onto it. So he gets realized. So when he realizes with the siddhi itself. So there is no need for him to search separately for the siddhi. And in the third one, he becomes universal consciousness where he doesn't have to exist as an individual being. So both the realization and the siddhis are already there. So this is how they hand it over to from one to next and next to next. Any questions? All clear?
Yeah, so being in the first thing, it's also something not normal for everybody.
No.
Okay.
And that's the reason there is a lot of importance given on rituals and all that, because then only that siddhi will start to work.
So japa, tapa, homa, all this is coming under siddhi only, right?
Yes.
And the human birth is also because the outcome of siddhi of previous janma.
Yes.
So that's the reason it has got some limitation, 120 years, 100 years.
Not only the age has a limitation, it is what you can do as a human being. You can do many things, but there is a limitation.
But going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 step, you need only a human life, right? It is not possible in other lives.
Yes.
Concept is understood.
So we have to set a goal, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3. 3, you will not have any teacher because you have to do it yourself. For 2, you will get hundreds of teachers. For 1, you get millions of teachers.
Yeah, correct.
Just like there are millions of institutions for doing engineering and medical and this and that. And all the science and commerce and arts and literature. Then you have music, and so there are so many things, right? So that is the first one, millions. Second one you get in hundreds, you will not get even in thousands. So you have to then focus on that philosophy which makes you realize the truth. So that's the second one. And the third one, you have to do it yourself. Nobody will be able to do it for you.
Correct.
So
But what is the...
what you are saying is that we have to fix our goal, which one we want.
Yes. And then go behind that, it will work. Otherwise, it is like reading the preface and all that of a book, but not really trying it out.
So what is the percentage of people qualify 1 to 2, 2 to 3 generally? The ratio of third will be very, very less, right?
Third, you will hardly hear. Second one, maybe some people from the way
Yeah,
they
this
talk.
Sadgurus and all falling in number 2 or number 1.
Yeah, you can now make it very clear. You from the
Yeah.
interaction and all that what they say, you can really make out, are they in 1, are they in 2,
Yeah.
are they in 3. So that is the basis of,
Three people are visible to us. Are they coming to the real world?
yes, they would be visible. From their talks you will come to know that they are in 3. See, how do we find out? So it's very easy. You have to only look at the level of craving and the level of attachment they have. If they are attached to their views, that means they are either in 1 or at the most 2. Okay. So I'll give an example. Now let's say that day, whatever you had sent about one Madhva philosopher talking very negative about Shankara as well as Ramanuja, that video what you had sent, neither he is in all the 3. He is wasting his life. Very clear.
Yeah, that is right. Because they have not even qualified to come to number 1.
Yes.
Still their mind is polluted with the what do you call, polluted with something which is not allowing them to spiritually progress.
Yes. So then we come to Shatavdani Ganesh and all of that. Okay. And all those kind of people who have good knowledge. So they have Siddhi. Otherwise, the title of Shatavdani wouldn't have come. But what next?
So that Siddhi is from previous Janma, right? Not from this Janma.
Whatever it is, the previous, so they have got some fruits, right? So it's all karmic fruit.
Correct. Yeah.
Whether it is from previous or this or that, it doesn't really matter. See, when
Now they're using that one for giving their knowledge to others.
right, so they are only collecting punya. It is like collecting
Correct.
brownie points.
Yes.
So what happens? There will be rebirth. So that is the thing we can find out. Yeah.
Plus, I have one question. The way you are telling how you have to find out, meaning if they are sticking to their views, then they will not be in. I am not talking about people who abuse. Forget about abusing others. I'm just talking about people sticking on to a view. See, when we are talking about debates and all, even Adi Shankara entered into debates with so many people. You have to stick on to one view, and only then you can go ahead with the debate. Conclusion of the debate can be anything, and after the conclusion he might change, but then he was also sticking to a particular view. So do you think that is a good way of finding out whether a person is in level 1, level 2, level 3?
No, that is correct, Padma Shri. You are very right. It depends on what was the state of that person when he chose that view, and what is his, that is state in the sense that what was his mental state. If he is not
No,
agitated
but
in,
that nobody can make out. Meaning,
no, you will make out. No. See, going to the past who existed, whom we have not seen, does not make sense. I am saying how you can see in the current world. Question asked by Bhatt was that, do we see such people here? So I am saying when you are watching someone, you can make out. We can't go back to Shankara because we have not seen Shankara at all. None of us have seen to say that this is what has happened. So we don't know.
Exactly, and even all the others whom we are seeing, we know very little by seeing.
No.
Is
The
what
thing
I'm saying.
is,
So
no.
we have no way of evaluating others. Only thing that we can evaluate is whether we are there or we are not there. How far we are there from them is what I
Correct.
can evaluate.
Correct. See, there are many things which come out when a person speaks. Okay, one, you will get to know the level of heat he is bringing in. Okay, that can be seen. If the person starts sweating, you can find out. Because of the heat he is creating, there will be sweat. And the mental agitation will come out as anger or frustration, or some of that kind of thing will come out. So one can observe within himself and others how that is manifesting. So if we were to apply Bhagavad Gita for the second state of living, that is realization, then you can see that whether the person has dvesha or that is creating dvesha in me. So if that person is having dvesha in terms of some person's viewpoint, it's very clear that he is having a problem, because that's what he, in the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, he says that nadvesti. So sarva bhutanam maitraha karuna evacha, so which we already covered it. So we can use this Bhagavad Gita to evaluate oneself and others also. So this, for the second one, you require an appropriate teacher who can give you that realization, and that is what the Viveka Chudamani is all about, how to select a teacher and how to select a student. So he gives both of them. Shankara gives both of them. So let's say I don't have a teacher right now in human form whom I can confide or make myself as, or surrender to the Guru. How do I first search a Guru? I am saying you can search by this following way. Okay, but going back to those people who existed, who have achieved or something like that, from their literature, what they have written, we can find out. It's not a big deal. So if I am able to understand Viveka Chudamani completely, it very clearly shows that, and it can be demonstrated, it is very clear that the person has got self-realized. So there is no other requirement to be met, because he has indicated the moral foundation, what has to be done. So I don't have to now go on the debate process. Shankara might have debated with many people, but there is no debate existing in me, because I am very sure, or I have the faith that this path will get me into self-realization, because that can be demonstrated. So what's the difference between the...
Yeah, no doubt. I was only thinking about your way of evaluation. When you said when a person has sticks on to one particular view, you can make out, you said.
Yes.
So I was just saying, most of us will stick on to one view. Even the people who have debated have stick on to one view for some time.
No.
Finally, after a debate concludes, they might change, but they will stick on to one view. Only then a debate can happen. If I'm easily changed, there's no debate at all. So I just felt that may not be the right way to evaluate. somebody is
No,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying. I'm not doubting Adi Shankara's spirituality or level of siddhi or all, because I'm nowhere even a capable person to evaluate all those things. So I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you the criteria which we used, whether it is a sufficient criteria.
Yeah,
That's all.
see, thing is like this. Let us say I want to make you as my guru, let's say, as an example. It depends on how you are putting things across. If the more the neutral thing comes without views, it's very clear that you have that ability to guide. The more narrow view comes, it's very clear that either I have to accept to that view, or I have to change my view, or whatever it is, because it is just a view. In the third stage, when we go into liberation, you don't have to have any view, because consciousness doesn't have any view. It doesn't have any opinion. It doesn't have anything. It is just there. Sat Chit Ananda. Oh, the Chitta has the opinion and views. The Chit doesn't have any opinion or views. So the first thing we are going to find out in the realization path is that I am a Chitta, not having anything to do with this world. It's just consciousness. So when I am this consciousness appearing as Vilas, and I am the same consciousness appearing there as Padmashri, or there as Bhatt or Lata or whatever it is, or whoever is playing the role as a wife, and that consciousness, just consciousness. There is no wife there. So this is realization. So when I have this realization, then I want this I to go. Otherwise, it will again lead me on to an existence, but a pure existence, not as a human level of existence. So to cut this I should let go of opinion and views. So what we can find out between all the three is, in the first one, heavily dominant on the views, because it is more gross made. In the second one, there is a subtle view, but it is not pronounced in such a way that it creates irritation. So if we follow that person who doesn't associate himself or herself with the view, and willing to look it from 360 degrees rather than holding on to a particular view, then the person is a good teacher for giving realization. And the third one is the one where you will do it yourself, because you will let go of that view also. And then only your pure consciousness. Any trailing questions, Padmashri?
Oh, no, that's not.
So we have to find out through the views what people speak. So it is that energy is coming, right? So we can find out whether it is calming or it is irritating, or that irritating means not to me, whether the person is irritated himself or herself, whether the person is trying to justify his or her action, shows very clearly that which of the three this person is in. So if it comes to three, that person will not have any view at all. He'll just smile at whatever the person is saying. He will try to explain to him the reality, and if the person doesn't feel like it is working and he will not react to it, he'll just smile at the person. And that smile will be in such a way that it immediately changes the view of that other person who came there to fight. So that person with whom fighting cannot happen is a liberated person. A person with whom little bit of debate and fight happens is a realized person. A person with which always fight and debate and all kind of things happen is the first stage person, that is Siddha or Siddhi, behind Siddhis. So he tries to prove whatever he wants to prove.
So is it possible to jump from 1 to 3 through regular, what you call, full focus?
Yes, you can. You don't have to have one. You can directly go to 3, provided you are able to cut the relationships in your mind, not physically.
So for realization, through punyam, can we reach realization? That means we have a lot of accumulated punyam, and that journey from stage 1 to stage 2, is it a smooth journey, or it can be even a stepwise journey?
It depends, but it might bind.
You gave example of Lata, for example. Lata other day, I think one of the weekends, 2 days, she was completely in that stage. That's a step change, right?
See, the thing is that she was practicing a lot, okay, and then it worked. So the practice is what is required in second, and letting go is required in third. So in the case of Lata, I think she has been reading voraciously. She's trying to find out how this can be done. So that virya or energy was there, and she was pestering me all the time. So I have to somehow come up with an answer to her question. So I was also extensively thinking how to explain this, how to be in awareness. So I gave an example, and it seemingly worked for her because she was also practicing. So in that way it worked. But now she is not doing it. That is another problem. So yesterday I told her that you are supposed to be doing this all the time. In every action you make that awareness part of it. Otherwise it will go away. Okay, so this is a siddhi.
Yeah, no, I am talking exactly. No. My question is exactly that. See, when you have a lot of punyam and you have a goal, yes, that will happen. When that punyam is exhausted, now suddenly something comes to you because of your previous karma. What do you call your karma philosophy based, and suddenly prarabdha comes and it will disturb you. Maybe in your life, or some health issues for somebody, or something office related escalations, and all that will suddenly pull your mind there. You don't have space for doing this in your time. So that's the reason my question was, is it also punyam based you will reach number 2? Because yes, you need effort, no doubt in that. But if you have punyam, you can, because getting this kind of class is also you need punyam. So when you have a punyam, then if you practice, then you will reach. If you don't have punyam, for a puppy, it is very, very tough.
No, it is like this. You're right to one extent that punya is required. But knowing that punya is required and, knowing that you already have punya and you're not working, then what to do? If you were to procrastinate...
Yeah, without prayatna, not possible. Swaprayatna is must. Yes. Without that, not possible. But for swaprayatna, you need that the base. Base comes from punyam.
Perfect. Base comes from punyam for both, for 1 and 2.
Correct.
Okay, there is no doubt about it. See, even for a materialistic living, the punya has to be there. Otherwise, you cannot have all the luxury, whatever you want to buy. Every human being wants to be in a comfortable home, comfortable car and all that. But not
material siddhi.
So this is a siddhi, right? Only few people have it.
Yeah.
So that is also siddhi only. That's an achievement.
Yeah.
That also requires.
Yeah, I think also you need a guru. We always say the name the guru because you need to have somebody giving margadarshana to do this.
Yes, absolutely.
And on your own, it is very, very challenging to get that kind of things. So this is something knowledge.
Yes, so the school or the college or the university and the opportunity what has been got all taken together is the person who is today so and so, right?
Yeah.
So whether we can call it as a CEO of Google or a CEO of ABB or MD of ABB or whichever company it is, It is all based upon that. So I am an employee in one company because that is what my punya can take, whereas the same day, same hour, same minute, same second, another person, that is another consciousness, today is working as the owner of that company. There is no difference. His punya has taken him there, my punya has taken him here, and another person's punya has taken him to a place where he needs to stand in the sun for all the 8 to 10 hours. All the three are same. All the three are consciousness. There is no difference between three of them. So the realization is that all the three are consciousness. The first one, the first stage, what we are talking, or state, is basically, it's only siddhi. So now I feel very happy that I have such a comfortable living, and then I know it is because of punya, and I feel very happy about it that I have made so much of punya. So now I have to do a lot of punya. So I need to do dana, then I have to have a moral life and all of that, and that will give me the punya to sustain this materialistic comfort, or the religious comfort and social comfort and all of that. Right. So whether I am a believer in this God or that God, it is the punya which is keeping me there. Like in your case, but both your daughters are well settled, and you are also well settled, and everything is settled out for you. It's nothing like you have to struggle, which is based upon punya. So that's a siddhi.
That is punya.
And that is what siddhi is all about, right?
But now coming into contact with people like you is also a punya, right?
That is also true.
Practice is my prayatna.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Practice
now,
is my prayatna, because that punya will be exhausted with some time.
yes. So now
And we don't know whether who will be with me for giving knowledge. Yes.
Yes. So this punya, whatever you and I are today based, is not guaranteed.
Yes.
It will exhaust one day. Same thing with all material comfort. In fact, all of this gets exhausted in the night. Now forget one day. Every day it gets exhausted, no matter how much punya we have made. So this punya comes only for maximum 8 hours or 10 hours of waking life. That's all we get. And that is again realization. So the self-realization is only this much. That you know that after sleep, there is nothing of you existing. So that is realization. It's only the consciousness which is there. So, so the consciousness as I, which is what Nityananda wanted to say, me in me is in me and all that means. So if we were to put it that in a proper way, this consciousness as I is exactly the same as Modi, is exactly same as Rahul Gandhi, is exactly the same as in Trump, or exactly the same as in whichever name we can bring it, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or whomever we think have reached, or like Ratan Tata or Mittal or somebody, or Ambani or whatever it is. The same consciousness. There's absolutely no difference in consciousness. But what is changed there is the mind. The mindset is changed, and why it is working for them and why it is working for me in this particular way as me, and that particular way as me in that place, is because of the quantity of raga, dvesha, moha. Simple. That's all what changes. So the consciousness as so and so with that mindset becomes Rahul Gandhi. So there is no point in me hating Rahul Gandhi or liking Rahul Gandhi. It's because just the same consciousness. This is absolutely mirrored consciousness. There is no difference in consciousness.
Yeah, that is the reason we say don't do any personal attack, isn't it? For
Yes.
anybody.
Yes. because it's the same consciousness.
Professional means it's only for the behavior of that person.
Correct. Whereas if I go with the first one, I go by views, I go by the achievement. So it should be a materialistic achievement or a religious achievement or a spiritual achievement. When we come to spiritual achievement, it is the miracles what one performs. So you require mantra sadhana, tantra sadhana, yantra sadhana to make that happen. When it comes,
Yeah, see, there is one category of people, they don't have money, but they have a lot of peace of mind. That is also siddhi, na? Because peace of mind is ultimate. Materialistic life and other some achievements, social status and all that. That is one type of achievement for those people. They are happy with that. But there can be another kind, they are not interested. They are okay with whatever they are having. That is also siddhi for that person.
yes, that is siddhi, and they are coming into the second one.
Yeah, easy for them to enter the second one because
Yes.
there nothing to lose
Yes.
because they don't possess anything.
Yes, and the people who are in first make a fuss about losing it. Meaning, if a certain siddhi is lost, then that guy will go mad. Both in materialistic as well as this this so-called spiritualistic.
So when that siddhi results, if when we lose after our punyam is over, we should not worry, let go or so what. It's fine. I think that kind of approach is required for mind.
Yes, that kind of approach takes you to 2.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will make the person get totally worked up. So his consciousness gets locked up with that mindset.
Yeah, so step 1 to step 2 is possible. No, it is a practice continuously in your interactive world. Because anyway, in the sleep, there is nothing like this. So it is possible. But 2 to 3, you should be away from all this, right? You should not be a part of it. You should not be working with the transactions.
No, the 2 to 3 is you are there in the transaction world, but internally you are dead. See, once you realize...
Yeah, can I use this one, Ramana Maharshi, in that?
Yeah.
You are there, but you know, if you really see such people, transaction world was very, very minimal. When people come to them only, they will respond. Otherwise, they don't go on their own.
Correct, because there is absolutely nothing to transact.
But if I want to do any transaction, they can enter somebody's mind and they can help them, right? That is what they will get, that siddhi.
They will get
No need that people go into them.
Yes, they
Like
will.
Raghavendra Swamiji, this one, our Puja Raghavendra, that Swamiji, he is of that kind, right? Already.
Correct. See, the thing is like this. Once you achieve 2, you know you are a self-realized being. All the siddhi will automatically start to come. Whatever was struggled in the first one to generate siddhi, in 2 it is automated. In 3, even the realization is also there. So it's nothing like that is gone. And you are one with everyone, right? So you are one with not only humans, you are one with the nature, one with the animals, one with birds, one with insects, one with everything, every universe. Because that is the power of liberation. Because it's just consciousness, but it is nothing to do with you. It is just pure consciousness. So everything is possible in consciousness.
If one's conscious is very at its, I can say, he's able to convert that into some actions. For Siddha Purusha, it is possible remotely without going to anywhere. For people like us, yes, we have to be governed by that physics, law of physics. But Siddha Purushas, it's beyond law of physics, right? They can do it through their, what do you call it, Siddha Shakti or Tapas Shakti.
Correct.
They can make some rain happen and anything. And we cannot even, analyze that through a scientific way. That is the second stage. And the third stage is they themselves is like Brahman.
Correct.
But the Brahman is He is not doing anything. It's only energy.
Yes.
So law of nature is applicable to the nature. Is it law of nature applicable to Brahman also? No.
No, once you are pure consciousness.
So when it should rain, when the sunrise should happen, at what speed earth should rotate, and all that is only nature, right?
That nature is nothing but Prakriti. So you
Prakriti.
So you have moved out of Prakriti. You are just Purusha. You have got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Correct. Okay, I think good clarity. See, now we call Swaprayatna is possible. With the Swaprayatna I can achieve. This Swaprayatna is through mind. Can I say that way?
Yes, Swaprayatna, the willpower is in the consciousness and you are using mind to manifest whatever you want to manifest.
Yeah, we say reflected consciousness is nothing but our human life. That we are trying to get more reflection by cleaning our mirror.
Correct.
That the cleaning of mirror is nothing but this dhyana, yoga,
Correct.
tapashakti and all that. Okay.
Correct.
So if you see for any human being in this real life, whether a person is having social status or huge money, there is nothing called luck for him. Everybody's goal is only one, going towards moksha. And in that path, whether you have money, if you don't have money, it doesn't matter. What's important is your mindset.
Correct. That's all what is.
And also you earn some punyam so that it will help you.
Yes.
There is no need to have only punyam and become deva and again come back to human life.
Yes.
So whatever possible within your limit, do it. No need to do, but you divide your time into something for earning punyam, and that is sufficient foundation. Then on that you build spirituality. All remaining time you spend on the spirituality. That's what I think your message is about.
Yes.
Because now what we do is we spend around 10, 12, 15 hours for our earning punyam. Punyam is the materialistic life, earning more and more. Actually, that is maybe sometime it is a foolish decision.
Yes. Very true. See, once you have whatever you want to have in materialistic, you have to come out of it. And spend the entire life in two. For two. And that gives you three.
Yes.
So this discourses or this discussion, what we're having from the last 2+ years.
See, what you say that there is something called your rinas. You have to Pitta rina, Mata rina, then so many things, Acharya rina. You have to do through our yajnam. That means you have to give back. See, we are giving back. What is the fun in that? The world knows how to run on its own. Why not we spending from the beginning maximum time only stage 2 and 3? And why this world is running this way?
No, that is how it has to run, but now you can change it, right? After doing everything, you can change. So what they did in the Hindu philosophy, they made it as 4 ashramas, knowing very well that the 4th one is the one you should have started from the beginning. But you cannot.
Yeah, I heard the 4th one should start initially like that number now. For example, what I heard that 1 to 9 numbers. Initial part, when you reach 16, your age 1-6 is there. So during that time, 1 part will go for spirituality, 6 part is for your growth and all that. When you reach 20s, 2 part will go for your spirituality. Like that, when you reach say 50s, then 5 full. Full should go to say 59 or something like that. Maximum time should go to spirituality. Very less time for materialistic life.
Correct. So whatever way we want to put that, but you have these 4 ashramas. So knowing very well that the 4th ashrama should be the first ashrama, they didn't do that. So they said that dharma, that is, have your own dharma, which will take you to the higher goal, which is the 4th one. Have the kama so that the desires get exhausted, so you don't carry it forward. For that, you need to have artha, which is you need to have some wealth to eat and stay and have your clothing and shelter and all of that. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that you exhaust all your desires before you get into moksha. The problem with us is that at 50 we are supposed to make this move of into getting into the moksha. But at 50 we think that we are too young to do all of that, and then we should be doing it after 70 or 60 or after I have these grandchildren and all.
Yeah, the reason is our goal is only materialistic goal, socialistic and materialistic.
Yes, so it is
At 50s. So we forget completely other side unless we listen to this kind of some nice knowledge sessions.
correct. So now we have to set a goal. What is that you want? You want 1 or you want 2, and there is no 3. So it's basically between 1 and 2. 3 is self. You yourself do it. So all of us, all the 4 of us have to set that in the mind, that this is what I'm looking at from now on. If that is not there, we will be finishing this Mandukya Upanishad, Karika also very fast. Then we'll finish the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, then go to 15th and 16th and 17th and 18th. And then we have to then figure out what else to take. So there won't be any experiences to be shared. It will be only whatever is there in the scriptures to be shared. So that's what we need to discuss. 4 of us come to a conclusion. It's not that we should not be stopped. It doesn't mean that we should be stopping this Mandukya Upanishad and all that. We should be doing that, but also we need to see how much have we inculcated into our life that day. Then it makes sense. Otherwise, after this 1 hour, we are just closing the shop, and then next day only we are arriving. So there should be some insights and there should be some experiences from all the 4 of us. And we should be able to share. Yesterday I got this and this is how it looks and all that. So then that would be good for development. 4 of us, we can develop together. So then it becomes Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunatva. Otherwise it is like a guru and shishya. I keep on telling something and you listen and you go away, and next day, not even guru and shishya, we are, what we can say, we are even more lower. Shikshaka. Shikshaka is nothing but instructor. So I'm instructing and you're taking the instruction, that's all. Okay, 9:26.
Yeah, I think maybe we can continue tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow we need to take a decision how we want to do that. Goal.
No, I think this kind of things makes us to rethink about what is our real goal.
Yes, better to do that. Okay, all right then.
Okay, thank you, Vilas.
Yeah, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.